Hi folks, I haven't done a lot of stuff on my personal channel recently, but I want to make a video just to talk about a few different people and the videos that they've made within the last couple of weeks. But before I get into that, I first wanted to thank a few subscribers of mine. I'm a little surprised that people have subbed me recently. It could be because Razorwire Reviews mentioned me in one of his recent videos. But I just want to give thanks to Chris Me 26, Joseph Cohen Mason, Mr. Gamer 990, Paddy D, and Forsaken 139. 4 people that have subbed me recently, despite the fact that I haven't been making a lot of stuff on my personal channel. I wanted to say thanks to you guys and to anyone else who has subscribed recently, but hasn't discovered the collab channel that I'm on with DVD Collector 1974. And Puckbot 007 and a few other guys, Forkaball and Ray DVD and what have you, then please do take a look at that. The link is in the description below to that channel. I have my own Facebook page, and the collab channel is their own Facebook page. I encourage you to visit all those places. That would be great. As I said, I haven't really put up a lot of content recently, so I want to talk about a few different things, sort of a general YouTube/life update. Paddy Moran has been doing a few of the Top 10 Tuesday videos. That's correct, Paddy Moran. Just want to make sure I got that name right. And so I haven't been doing much of them lately. Sorry about that, James. I haven't been doing a lot of the Top 10s Tuesdays because I haven't really felt like I had a lot to contribute as far as the topics go. There was a topic on digibooks. There was a topic on movies about real-life serial killers, and I can think of maybe 2 that would qualify as favorites of mine, and that would be a very meager top 10 list. Top 10 drama movies, I don't know how I could possibly come up with a list of those. Seriously, I could do my top 100 drama movies and it still wouldn't be enough, because drama is, science fiction movies, action movies, thrillers, those are the ones I look forward to more than any. But in terms of the ones that I'm value the most when all is said and done after I've actually seen the movies, they tend to be dramas, So yeah, coming up with a top 10 dramas is just seems kind of unfathomable. How could I fit, anywhere close to my essential viewing onto a top 10 list? There have been a few. One of the he did Spielberg actually today. Today was a topic of Steven Spielberg, and I have actually a top 10 list of Spielberg movies that I generated quite a while ago. So I'll bring that up here on my laptop, and once I get to it, I'll repeat that. But one of the topics that was mentioned, I think it was last week or the week before, was favorite villains. And I really like the topic of villains because actors who play villains have more fun than pretty much anybody else in the cast, I think. Which one do I want? Here we go. So I wanted to do a list of my favorite villains from trashy movies, direct-to-video or direct-to-cable action thrillers and what have you. One in particular that jumps out to me is Kim Coates. Kim Coates, who was in The Last Boy Scout, the Tony Scott picture that Bruce Willis starred in. If you remember the scene where Bruce Willis is being held by a couple guys, and he asks one of them for a cigarette and then for a light, but instead of giving him the lighter, the guy punches him in the face a couple times and just kind of, messes with him at that point. That's Kim Coates. And Kim Coates was in a movie with Jeff Fahey and Gary Busey back in the 90s, in which they took over water filtration plants and took hostages. And he was just the most over-the-top hostage-taking terrorist ever. He was just all big speeches and crazy behavior and just appeared to be having a grand old time. Also really like John Lithgow and Donald Sutherland and some of the villain characters that they've played over the years. Billy Zane in Demon Knight, that's one of my favorite kind of trashier villains. When the stakes are not real high, no one's going to take the movie really seriously, it's just a fun time, and that gives the bad guys an excuse to really kind of cut loose. The hero's got to be serious for the most part, but the bad guys, they get to have fun. So I was thinking about doing a list like that, but I ended up not doing it. Part of the reason for that is, well, I'll get into that a little bit later, but Paddy Moran actually put up a video today that I wanted to talk about, which was about the hype around movies. and specifically movies that you're either really looking forward to and have gotten really good reviews and a lot of people are really excited about them, or movies that have gotten negative hype in terms of having really bad reviews and how that affects your perception of what it is that you're watching. And that's definitely true for me. There's no question of that. There's been several movies that I've done videos on YouTube on, such as The Dark Knight Rises and The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and most recently Star Trek Days of Future Past. Excuse me, X-Men. X-Men Days of Future Past. Star Trek Into Darkness, that was another one. I spent, you know, a good 20 to 30 minutes on each one of these movies going, these are all the reasons why this movie stinks. And I wouldn't have spent so much time on that. And as far as Days of Future Past goes, it's not exactly a stinker, but there's so many things that I found wrong with it that I just had to go into detail about most of them. That video ended up being a lot longer than it had to be. I probably could have cut out some of that stuff. I actually did cut out a few points. There was plenty to talk about. But I ended up just shortening it just slightly. But still, I felt everything that I had to say was fairly important. And a lot of people were like, why are you spending so much time on this? I'm like, well, the reason why is because I was looking forward to it so much. It was like number two on my list of most anticipated movies of the year, right up there with Sin City and Gone Girl, and the new Sin City movie, of course. And man, you know, it just really bummed me out that I had so many issues with it, and there were so many inconsistencies involving the whole time travel process, and other logical problems, just things that characters did, it didn't make sense. And so, since I was so invested in the movie, I had so many, you know, I had a lot of issues that I needed to vent about. That's true with, you know, just the standard Academy Award nominated stuff. American Hustle came out last year, and I was really excited about it because the last several David O. Russell movies have been really enjoyable, and I was just very disappointed by that movie. Not super disappointed, but enough where I'd say, gee, you know, I can't believe that this movie just isn't doing it for me, you know, the way that the other ones have done. There are relatively minor problems with that movie, but still it was disappointing enough to the point where I have to say this isn't nearly as good as some of the other David O. Russell films that I've seen. Now, in the opposite direction, of course, you have movies that have gotten really terrible reviews. And so if I gave them a shot, I'd go, well, you know what, this wasn't so bad. The Lone Ranger from last year was like that. I really didn't like the ending to the movie. I thought that the climax involving the train chase was just really, really stupid. A lot of poor decisions and bad special effects, you know, the process shots and what have you. Just didn't look right at all. But up until that point, I really liked the movie a lot. I thought that it was fun, it was clever in a lot of places. A lot of people didn't dig it, but I thought it was not too bad. Not my favorite Gore Verbinski film, obviously, but certainly could have been worse, given how bad the movie's reputation was. So yes, I'm right there with you, Mr. Moran, about that stuff right there. When you're really looking forward to something, you tend to have more problems with it, nitpick it more than something you would just casually watch. If it just happens to be on cable, or something you just pick randomly on Netflix, oh, that looks okay, and you might enjoy it a lot more, versus if you were waiting for it for months or even years, and then you go and you spend $12 to see it in the theater, and it turns out to be just okay. That's going to generate more disappointment than something that you weren't so invested in. Okay, so I have my Steven Spielberg list up here. I did this a few years ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. I've got a full list of 10 right here. My number 10 is Minority Report with Tom Cruise, the science fiction movie from 2002. My number 9 is Lincoln, Daniel Day-Lewis and Sally Field from just a year and a half ago. My number 8 is Munich with Eric Bana and Jeffrey Rush and some other cool people. It's a Best Picture nominee and on my top 10 list for that year. That was from 2005. Then number 7, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, a really, really exciting picture. A lot darker than the other Indiana Jones movies, and that's always fun for me. Let's see, number 6, Amistad, which came out in late '97. Another prestige picture about the slave ship, Djimon Hounsou and Anthony Hopkins, Matthew McConaughey, a young Chiwetel Ejiofor, Morgan Freeman, Pete Postlethwaite, Arliss Howard, really, really good cast, really cool movie. Now we get to the really good ones here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, good. Number 5, Catch Me If You Can. Really, really, really fun picture. Also from 2002. Spielberg has this habit of making like 2 movies within a given year. One for summer, one for the Christmas season for the awards. That was a really, really good one. One of Leonardo DiCaprio's best roles. A role that was very well suited to him. Very, very convincing in that part. Just a fun picture. Nice change of pace from him. He's done so many serious movies, and it's fun to see him do something more lighthearted. Amy Adams had a small part in that movie. Christopher Walken, of course, was in it. He got an Oscar nomination, and I'm a little surprised that DiCaprio himself didn't get an Oscar nomination for that role, because it just seems like he's so much better suited to that than he was to, say, Gangs of New York or Blood Diamond or something like that. My number 4 picture, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, with Richard Dreyfuss, of course, and Francois Truffaut and Terry Garr, his wife. You know, science fiction classic. I've enjoyed it for a really long time. My number 3, Schindler's List. Actually, I think this is probably be maybe number 2, but it's, you know, my number 2 is the ones that are like long-time favorites of mine. Schindler's List is, you know, just an extraordinary movie. Really, really emotionally involving. Liam Neeson, Ben Kingsley, of course, Ralph Fiennes, Embeth Davids, I think that's how you say her name, Davids. And it's all about, of course, Oskar Schindler getting together as many of the Jewish people in the camps as he can to work in his factory and spare them from the death camps. Yeah, quite an extraordinary picture. My number 2 and number 1 are E.T. And Raiders of the Lost Ark, of course. I've loved them for a very, very long time. And I've loved Spielberg for a long time as well. He's got a couple movies that are due to be coming out in 2015, so naturally I'm very excited about them. I don't think we'll be seeing Robopocalypse from him anytime soon, which is too bad, because that was something he was tipped to direct a while ago. But yeah, that's my top 10 Spielberg list right there. I'll give maybe Saving Private Ryan an honorable mention, but I find it not as rewarding as a lot of the other movies that he's done. I know it's like, you know, a revered classic of a film, but you know, just there's a lot about it that bugs me. Won't fault it technically though, that's for sure. So yeah, sorry I haven't been doing the top 10s and what have you. I just haven't felt like I had a lot to contribute as far as the topics went, for the most part. So I've sort of been skipping them. And I've been skipping doing other kinds of reviews as well. Like my 1973 series. I hope there aren't many people out there that are eagerly awaiting those videos, because while I've been watching some of the films, I really haven't been making videos about them that much. I think these days I knock off maybe one 1973 movie per month, whereas before I was trying to do like 2 a week. But I really sort of got tripped up last year. Some of you who've been watching me for a while might recall me making an announcement video about making a film of my own, an indie movie of my own, in 2012, and that didn't really work out because I was kind of relying on my younger brother to do a lot of the legwork with that. He actually works on indie film productions. So he's worked with people, and I thought, well, he's going to know the right people to work with. Well, as it turns out, the right people didn't want to do it or couldn't. So, you know, we were sort of stuck in limbo on that. And I kind of went, well, I guess we're not going to be doing that. So I'll look for means of getting it made elsewhere. But I really haven't been able to do that. I've tried making connections, but they haven't worked out. And the whole experience has really bummed me out. Because, you know, at my job, I was having some trouble. My job had changed around 2008, and suddenly it was just getting a lot harder physically, just taking a lot more energy. It was kind of hard on my feet and legs because I was walking around picking up stuff all day long. The notion of being able to, you know, spend a few weeks to shoot our own indie movie was very, very exciting and something that I'd been wanting to do for a while. And when that didn't work out, I really was bummed about the whole thing. I threw myself into YouTube at that point. During the latter part of 2012, I did 4 director series. I made like, you know, a video every 3 or 4 days minimum. Went through like 4 different directors, reviewed all their movies. And after that started the 1973 series, but I wasn't really as strongly motivated as that, and things sort of went downhill from there. And as far as my job goes, that's over with actually. About a month ago now, I was informed that my position would be cut, basically, along with a few other people. You know, they did this every once in a while. The company I was working for, they'd cut a few people. because of less work, you know, or workflow changes, as they say, that kind of thing. So I was kind of looking forward to the job ending, because although I was having a really hard time, the job had changed for me at the beginning of this year. I was basically given a new thing to do, because I was so inexperienced there. I was like the least experienced person in the department at what I was doing. I was, of course, one of the first people that they decided to let go this year. Whereas before I was doing something that hardly anybody did, and so I was relied upon quite a bit. But I just couldn't do it anymore, you know, it was just too hard on me. My feet hurt every day, my ankles were stiff and sore every single day. I was very, very glad to change the job. And, you know, although it's been not fun not having a job, I really couldn't go back to the one that I was doing before, because it was just killing me. It was just killing me for sure. I was very glad to learn that I would be doing something different. When they told me that my job was ending, I was given a little bit of notice and told that I would be getting severance pay, you know, several weeks of severance pay that amounted to, you know, maybe 3 months or so, and I was just like, wow, that's great. And so I was sort of looking forward to it. Kind of like, you know, graduation, if you will, saying, oh, I'm going to be finishing here. It's not like I'm being booted out, I'm going to be finishing my job. And so on the last day, I brought in donuts for everyone and said, I'm going to miss seeing you guys, because it's not like we're buddy-buddy outside of work. I only really saw them there. But on the way home, at the end of the day, I kind of felt bad. Although I've been doing other things right now, in addition to getting ready to look for more work, things around the house, there are days when I just don't want to do anything. You know, I just don't feel all that great in general, and that extends to YouTube, unfortunately. And part of the problem, of course, is that last year the Google Plus thing has made it a lot tougher for me to comment and interact with people, especially in older videos that I've made. I realize that the Google Plus infestation really has been to help Google Plus and not YouTube, just to get people to start using Google Plus more, because it wasn't nearly as popular as Facebook. That was the impression that I got. And since I was so very vehemently opposed to that, I was like, I'm not being part of Google Plus no matter what. And I'm still not part of Google Plus, and that of course limits my options as far as interactivity. I can't comment on anyone's videos or their channels. I can't reply to comments on my own videos, especially not the older ones, because I don't get the notifications anymore. And I know that I can solve these problems easily by accepting Google Plus on my channel, but I really don't want to. It's a matter of principle. I just hate the whole situation, and so I don't want to be part of it. But this has depressed me a bit as far as my interactions go, and I haven't really felt like doing much of anything lately. I'm still posting on the collab channel, of course. I didn't mention it before at the beginning of the video. The link is in the description below to our collab channel. And I post there every week on Thursday. And I hope those of you who are new to my personal channel will check me out there, because that's my regular posting right now. I don't really post regularly on this personal channel right now. Just like I said, because I haven't been really motivated to. But I wanted to just talk a little bit about that, because James did a video last week. He does this weekly chat thing, and he brought up a few topics that were kind of relevant to that. He was talking about multiple editions of DVDs. I don't collect any of those. I find the edition that I want, and I just own that one. And how my taste changed in film. He was asking that question, of course answering it himself. For me, that's very significant, because when I was a kid, I was excited by, you know, great, you know, exciting moments and funny moments, and of course good endings. Good endings are always important to me. Whereas in the 90s, I was more concerned with edge and changing up the style, the format, and great photography and editing and what have you, and sort of the technical aspects of movies. And now the thing that I'm most concerned about really is writing and just directing and editing, the way the story is told in a dynamic and involving manner. All the handheld camera work that bothers people so much would have bothered me quite a lot in the 90s. In fact, it did on a couple of pictures where I was just like, man, there was too much handheld camera work in this movie. But now it doesn't bother me as much, because I don't value it as highly as I do good storytelling, good writing and directing and editing. And those are the really key moments right there. Acting and you know, music and photography and all that stuff, those things are still important to me. But it comes down to the more essential things. And I think that came with kind of studying writing, because for this film that I mentioned earlier, the one that I was planning on making, I did write a full script. And although it could probably use a few tweaks, it's basically done, and I'm very happy with it. And I wouldn't have been able to write a script as good as it is back then, because I was just valuing different things. The first full script I ever actually completed was, you know, I just threw in all my favorite sci-fi concepts and mischronological storytelling and everything else that I really liked, and it's a little bit of a mess. I still like it, but I'm sure it's kind of a mess for everyone else. But yeah, you know, that's how my tastes have changed. The other topic that James talked about was what's more important, subscribers or viewers? And for me, it's not viewers, but views, basically. How many views your videos get. And because of the Google Plus problem, I've been interacting less. Prior to that, it would have been the interactivity itself, the commenting and the replying to comments and the really sort of sharing of opinions and views and things like that, that really sort of I valued the most. I mean, I like talking about films, but knowing that people are interested in what I'm doing is a good thing. A thing that really is sort of more valuable to me than just having a huge subscriber count. Right now I'm just short of 700 subs. But you know, it doesn't matter that much to me how many subs I have, as long as I've got people watching my videos and enjoying them. And a lot of them tell me, a lot of people who comment tell me that I enjoy them. It's just so much trouble to reply to them now. I've got to switch to a different account that does have Google Plus on it, just to reply to comments. And if I want to look and see any of my old videos have comments, I've got to go through them one at a time, and that's a huge pain. Just in general, I've been, you know, just kind of less enthusiastic about YouTube in general. I still watch it. I still watch people's videos. I almost never comment on videos. I'll comment on their Facebook. If they've got a link to their video on Facebook, then I'll comment there, of course. By the way, on the collab channel and for my personal channel, there are Facebook pages for those as well. It's a good place to comment and just interact and things like that. So I'll leave those links below as well. I'll leave a link to Paddy Moran's video, the one that he just put up about movie hype, and I'll post a link to James's video. I believe he did a top 10 Spielberg movies as well, so I'll post links to all that stuff in the description here on the YouTube page. If you happen to be watching this video on Facebook, the YouTube page will have all those links. So thanks for listening, guys. I appreciate it. Just wanted to get a bunch of stuff off my chest, really, because it has been a while since I've done a video like this. See you again real soon, and please come see us on the collab channel, because we are potentially going to be having some new people very soon. We'll see. Bye-bye.